And welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? It's the end of February. Uh, Hearthstone news is starting to pick up. I'm super excited to do the show. I'm super excited for Hearthstone right now. How are you?
I'm doing great. I actually had a little bit of free time this week. I got to play a little more Hearthstone. I spent a couple of days just running my wife and son to doctor's appointments, so I got to play while I was in the waiting room, and got to play some at in the evenings. So got to play a lot more Hearthstone this week than I have in probably the last month and a half, and it feels great. I'm really glad to be playing regularly again, and I just hope it keeps up.
Yeah, me too. I personally, I've been doing a lot. I've talked about it in the past. I've been doing a lot of competitive Hearthstone in tournament series. You know, things we don't call leagues anymore.
Yep.
And in Team Hearth Legends (THL), I'm currently 5-1. I got featured in the top 10 power players for the week last
Awesome.
week. I'm in the Coin Concede Listener Series. I'm currently 4-0, leading into the last week before their playoffs. So in Conquest format, I'm doing really good. I haven't had a lot of time for ladder. I usually don't during these competitive months because I spend more time testing decks out on the ladder than trying to rank up. So I'm just having a lot of fun. It's a bit of stress, but it's good stress. It's healthy stress. It's competitive stress. And I'm just ready for Hearthstone in 2020.
Oh yeah, me too. I think we're gonna have some good things coming, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. We don't have any new listener emails or iTunes reviews this week, so we're going to jump right into the news. If you guys listened to the show last week, we were talking about a rumor of a potential summit happening at Blizzard headquarters. Well, guess what? By Wednesday or so of last week, we had confirmation in the form of tweets and pictures of Hearthstone 2020 Summit.
Yeah, this is weird because usually you hear about these Hearthstone summits, you kind of see some veiled tweets, things like that, but you never see any images and you never see any confirmation that looks official, and it's almost and they were tweets from multiple people. It's almost like Blizzard was like, "Hey, go ahead and take your pictures, but as soon as you're done with these pictures, uh, put your phones away because nothing else beyond this point can be talked about." And they obviously opened the gates to let them tweet because they tweeted the opening stage with the first slide up that said Hearthstone 2020 Summit, and that was it. And then they also tweeted some pictures of kind of in the break rooms or green room, whatever you want to call it, of players sitting around or content creators, attendees of the summit, having lunch or having snacks and just people there. So it was really nice to see kind of Hearthstone kind of embrace the fact that social media is what it is and allow them to do a little teaser tweet. Obviously, they were very on the reins about information. Everybody I've talked to, I was like, "Hey, all I can say is I was there. That's all I can say." And I've even asked a couple of the content creators that are I'm close to, and they were like, "Yeah, I can't even like speculate anything. They couldn't even say whether they were happy of the content." Uh, so that was kind of interesting, and I like it. And there were some tweets there was one from Firebat that came out uh, that we have in our show notes here, and he says, "On my way home, I went to the GM talks. Unsure if I would stay. Now, after seeing the changes to passionate employees, I am happy to be part of the program. I'm excited for April when the next season starts streaming in 5 hours. Actually, I grabbed the wrong tweet. That tweet was from the GM Summit.
Right.
And I wanted to talk about that too. The GMs at Arlington had a short summit afterwards. Again, they couldn't talk about anything. And they were happy about that. Now, Firebat was really happy after hearing after that summit. So that means the players, the competitive players, seem to be in a good spot. And then right after this, or during this summit, Frodan tweeted, "Still in shock after hearing what's planned for Hearthstone 2020. The developers remain as passionate as ever. They haven't given up on the game, not even close. If they can execute, this will cement Hearthstone for the next decade, for new, returning, and veteran players." The real key point here is if they can execute, which tells me Frodan likes what he saw, but it's obviously a big task for them.
Yeah. We've got a question in the chat from Mike Lowe. It says, what does NBD mean? Hat said something about people can't talk about what they saw at the summit because of an NBD, but I'm a noob and don't know the acronyms. I believe the correct acronym is NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, meaning anything they saw is to be kept quiet until Blizzard gives them the okay or has released the information themselves. So,
yeah, and the GMs, and I actually briefly asked a question of Bloodyface, which he basically was no comment. He can't talk anything about it. The GMs had a short summit right after Arlington, and same NDA. They can't talk now. As far as I would assume, in the verbiage that was said to me, I believe it was just about the format for competitive Masters and Grandmasters. It wasn't about content. So, but again, I don't really know, and obviously nobody's going to tell us because the NDA, which I respect.
Yeah.
I guess the question I have is, do you have any kind of inkling or idea or predictions about what you might either want to see in 2020 or what you think might happen in 2020?
Tournament mode or Riot? No, I mean, at this point, I'm just glad to hear that the developers are still as passionate about the game as the players are, and that, you know, everything that came out of the summit that has been tweeted about, for instance, Frodan said, still in shock after hearing what's planned for 2020. The developers remain as passionate as ever, and they haven't given up on the game. He says, if they execute as described, this will cement Hearthstone for the next decade. That alone really excites me. That tells me they have some great ideas and plans coming down the pipeline. And I'm still waiting on my local 8-player battlegrounds for Firesides. So let's go.
Yeah, so what if they changed the way Standard worked? Or change the classic set completely?
Okay, that's what I was going to say. If they mix up what is considered Standard. So Magic the Gathering had a base set for the first year and a half or 2 years. It was almost the exact same cards in Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, and Revised. Mm-hmm. And then 4th edition came out, and they kind of mixed up that set. They took out a lot of cards. They added in a lot of new cards. It would be really cool, I think, if Hearthstone did something similar where they took out some cards and say
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. Leroy Jenkins, for instance. Or, just mix it up, take out Leroy, put in Ziliax.
Okay. I'd be cool with that.
I mean, they've got options, and I think it would be really cool to see what they might have in store by mixing it up.
Yeah, I think that's going to be my hot take. That's my prediction, is that they're going to take the classic set, and I know where people were expecting Hall of Fame rotations, and they've talked about before how they like to put in cards when they Hall of Fame cards so that the classic set and the basic set isn't so off. I don't know if they can do that with the basic set because the new player experience might diminish because you unlock cards as you're going up with basic set.
So,
but
what if they mixed up the basic class legendaries? Like, what if they remove Antonidas as being evergreen and replace him with Pyro as the base mage card? You know, I'm just saying, mix it up. How, you know, that could make things interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I think what I'd like to see them do is take the classic set and just, you know, like you had with 3rd edition and 4th edition and Magic, just wipe it and then replace it with the same amount of cards, but you're pulling cards that are now in Wild, maybe that, you know, changing the evergreen set. Obviously, some cards can stay, like Arcane Intellect is a good solid card, maybe Fireball. But obviously, some of the class legendaries or some of the other cards that really don't really either they're too powerful or they don't really see a lot of play because the meta's changing constantly with new sets. Maybe those cards get replaced. And that would... The hardest part for me at the beginning of a year is you have 4 sets in standard along with basic and classic, and basic and classic are always the same. So you really don't have anything new there. So there's only 4 sets right at the beginning of the year. But if they did this, it would almost be like a 6 set meta right at the beginning of the year. And I don't know if that's something they would need to do every single year, but maybe every couple years or, you know, yeah, I think every 2 years would be a good idea. But that's my hot take. That's what I think is the big news, is that the classic set's going to be revamped come April, which would be that's a huge undertaking, is to revamp the classic set and also release a set coming out in April.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm really excited for the announcements for this year, for the new year, which we should be getting in about a month. So
yeah, I mean, we're right at the end of February. Oh, well, the last year's set was it April 9th or April 11th? Something like that.
So let's just the last year the new set came out on Thursday, April the 9th, I believe.
Okay.
I believe this year, and this is just me spitballing. The 7th is a Tuesday, the 9th is a Thursday. See, what was the first set last year? It was Saviors of Uldum.
Well, no, it wasn't Saviors. It was the evil one, but Dalaran?
League of Evil. No.
Yeah, but that wasn't the set.
Yeah. What was the name of the set?
Was it Rise of Shadows?
Rise of Shadows.
That's it. Yeah, Rise of Shadows.
So, Rise of Shadows came out on April the 9th last year. So, let's see. That would have been a Tuesday. So, yeah. So, this year, I fully anticipate the new set to drop Tuesday, April the 7th.
So, we're looking at usually a 3-week lead time after the announcement of the set, because you get the announcement of the set.
So, let's count back
about
3 weeks.
A week of dead, and then 2 weeks of hardcore release pushes, and then the set release.
So, let's count back. The week before that is Tuesday, March 31st. Then you got March 24th, March 17th, March 10th, and then you got next week, which is March 3rd. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe we are 6 weeks out from the release of the next set.
So we're probably going to hear something the week of the 9th through the 13th with something definitive the 17th. No later than the 17th, if that math holds up. Which means probably this week we'll get the tease about what the year of is and images and all that stuff. The following week we'll have probably some patch information and little teasers, maybe some of those little videos they do with an actual official announcement that Monday the 9th or Tuesday the 10th. That's kind of their MO. And then you got about a week of dead air, and then they start doing rollouts of releases for a good solid 2 weeks, and then that means they would do their stream probably on the 30th with the big card dump and pre-release party starting the end of that week, which would be the 3rd. That's if the math holds up to correct. What it was last year.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm excited because we're that close. And I just realized I only have 3,000 gold saved up, so I've got to get on it the next 6 weeks, grind some gold, so I have enough for packs.
That lunar festival did really good for me. I think I'm sitting at a few thousand.
Yeah.
At least 4,000 that I remember. When I get in client, I'll know for sure. Yeah.
So, but I'm excited. I can't wait. 2020 seems like it's going to be a good year for Hearthstone, and we'll just have to see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Speaking of something I'm excited for, Masters Tour Indonesia is scheduled for the end of March, but there's been some news out. They did a blog post. Masters Tour Indonesia is being relocated to Los Angeles due to concerns over the coronavirus spread that's happening over east of us.
Yes. Yeah. So they're bringing it back to LA, and while I think it's probably, there have been no confirmed cases of coronavirus in Indonesia as of yet. The school systems here in East Tennessee like to use this phrase, out of an abundance of caution. And yes. I think Blizzard has taken a bite from that PR pie. And out of an abundance of caution, they have decided to relocate it back to LA, and this could cause some issues for some players, especially those who have already booked and or paid for hotels.
I'm wondering how much of this is because of the fear of the coronavirus at the location, and more of concerns over visas and travel arrangements for the company, because Arlington had to have some last minute casting changes because some of the casters couldn't fly out of Europe or Asia Pacific countries because they couldn't get a work visa. So I'm wondering if this is more because Blizzard is worried they won't be able to get all the visas for their staff and all that stuff to be able to throw the tournament, let alone have players attend it. Because if all the players can go to Bali, but all of a sudden, all of the staff and production can't get their visas and can't get to Indonesia, then there's no tournament. Now, again, there's no confirmation that's why they did that. This is just a theory of mine. They did say, however, that if you have to rebook any of your flights or hotel or anything, you show them proof of that, and they will reimburse you the money up to $250. Now, a lot of these economy tickets and economy hotels, you can't cancel. So you're basically just having to rebook something new, and $250 is not even going to be scratching the bucket for that.
I did a little digging into this, and the average cost to change a flight that's already been booked obviously depends greatly on the airline. But airlines do have penalty fees that can range anywhere from nothing to $400 to be able to change your ticket from one location to another. You know, for most domestic flights, it's only about $200. But these are international flights that have been booked, you know, for some people out of the U.S. into Indonesia or from Europe into Indonesia. Now, it is possible to change a flight without paying a fee under certain circumstances. You know, like you do it 60 days ahead of the flight time, or you pay for additional flexible fares when you buy your ticket. You know, there are, you know, possible options to get it changed, but for some of these players who have already bought their ticket, yes, $250 might cover the cost of it, but there's no way to know whether or not it will. It could be more than that.
And then you have to factor in hotel arrangements, because this is a busy time in LA with just over a month lead time. There might not be any availability open. Now, that's something Blizzard can probably work out. They could probably make an agreement with a hotel and then funnel that information to players. And I'm sure that's something they're trying to do. They're obviously trying to make this as least impactful on players. My question is this fair to players, and could it have been prevented? What do you think?
Do I think it's fair to players? That's tough to say because of the reasons behind it. Yes, there have been no cases of coronavirus reported in Indonesia. Could they theoretically have carried on with the tournament in Indonesia? Yes, I believe they could. Out of an abundance of caution, they have decided not to pursue that method, and that's probably okay too. Yes, this is going to be a lot harder there will probably be a lot of players maybe from the Indonesia region who had qualified that now may not be able to travel to the United States to compete in this event. No, that's not fair to them. But that's just kind of the way it is in esports right now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's fair to the players, but at the same time, I don't think it could have easily been prevented. I kind of commend Blizzard for making the difficult decision, because it's a decision they don't want to make, and their esports system right now is kind of being questioned a lot. Drew's knowledge of what the players want and need is being questioned a lot, but I think this is above his head. I don't think this is an esports thing. I think this is a business decision. I think it's better to err on the side of caution. I worry though. Well, my initial worry was how bad this was going to impact the attendance of the players in LA. And I did ask one of the players, one of the Grandmasters, Bloodyface, in his stream. I said, "Hey, with all this stuff going on with Indonesia being moved to LA, first off, were you going to Indonesia? Because he has a automatic invitation, and then B, are you going to LA?" And he said, "No, I wasn't going to Indonesia. It wasn't worth the cost." Because he kind of talked about how Masters is a deficit system where you're paying to be in the Masters program, and even though he's a GM, if he wants to compete in Masters to keep his money earnings up, so that if he gets relegated, he stays in GM, he has to compete. He says he would be at a loss if he went to Indonesia, but now that it's in LA, yeah, he's going to LA. So there are some players that obviously he's a special case in the fact that he's kind of gets invited to all the Masters being a GM. But there may have been players that are invited to Indonesia that have said, well, I qualify for Indonesia, but maybe I thought I could afford it, but I didn't get the team backing or sponsorships, or I couldn't make the money to go to Indonesia, so I wasn't going to go. But they're still qualified. So now that it's in LA, that might just be a drive across the country or a less expensive plane ticket. So there may be some players that now can go. Now, obviously, they're North America-based players, which seems a little unfair to other players in the world. But sometimes situations happen, and which benefit some people and don't benefit others. I don't think the attendance is going to be. Obviously, I think it's going to be less than they originally had registered, but I think overall it's still going to be a fairly large size tournament, and I'm excited for it. One, mainly because it's going to be televised during a time that is a little more reasonable for me to watch than like 8 or 9 hours ahead of me.
Right.
So,
yeah. So we won't have
3 hours behind me is fine.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is some of those you have to. We as again, this is being selfish as North Americans. We have to watch it on the VOD because it starts like 11 p.m. our time and airs
or later.
Overnight.
Some of those in Asia Pacific would start like 2 a.m.
Yeah, yeah. So for us, obviously, as viewers, we enjoy it, and unfortunately, that's just the way time zones work. But yeah, I'm excited for it, and I look forward to checking it out when it airs. So that brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, which is When Clones Attack. This is a repeat brawl. Xeric's cloning technology is out of control. Choose a class, get a random deck. Every minion you play will generate a 1/1 clone. I had a lot of fun with this brawl.
Me too.
I actually used this brawl to clear all of my dailies earlier this week, and so I've played this brawl like 7 or 8 times already this week, and just had a blast with it.
Yeah, it was fun. It took me a couple games to get my win, but I almost played some more when I was done because it was just like, wow, this one's kind of fun, and I don't remember it being this fun before. Maybe it's just because there's better death rattles. This year the Dragon was very death rattle heavy, so maybe there were just better death rattles that are in the mix. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. That brings us to this week's deck list that we're going to be playing on the show this week. And this week's list is brought to us by a friend of the show, Ridiculous Hat. He shared this on Twitter earlier this week. He said the deck credit goes to @ZachODR of Vicious Syndicate fame. Mm-hmm. So this is his version of Galakrond Warrior. And I'm going to run down the deck list real quick, and then we'll talk about it before we go play in a couple of games. So the deck list is 2 Inner Rage, 2 Eternium Rover, 2 Risky Skipper, 2 Town Crier, 2 Armor Smith, 2 Ritual Chopper, 2 Acolyte of Pain, 2 Awaken, 1 copy of Bloodsworn Mercenary, 2 Bomb Wranglers, 2 Frothing Berserkers, 2 Devoted Maniacs, 2 Scion of Ruin. As we talked about earlier, Mr. Leroy Jenkins, 2 Shield of Galakrond. Then you had 1 copy of Kronk's Dragonhoof, and of course, Galakrond the Unbreakable. So this deck has some really interesting mechanics in the way it works, especially using Risky Skipper. If you're not familiar with Risky Skipper, it's a 1 mana, 1/3 minion that whenever another minion is played, deal 1 damage to all minions on the board. So this works really well in conjunction with Armor Smith or Acolyte of Pain Eternium Rover. There's really great ways to trigger multiple effects off of the Risky Skipper. And then, of course, you have your Galakrond package, including Awaken and Devoted Maniac and, the Scion of Ruins. So, Galakrond gets real big. Galakrond comes out, buffs your minions that you draw. You could get some really big Scion of Ruin, a really big Leroy Jenkins to finish the game. This deck does so much. And it kind of looks like it could be an aggro-y, but it's really more of a tempo-based deck. Bomb Wrangler, again, works great with the Risky Skipper, because every time Bomb Wrangler takes damage, it creates a 1/1 bomb. So there's just multiple ways to do multiple things in this deck. I've had both Frothing Berserkers out on the board and had them up in the 20s attack power with this deck. There's just lots of fun things you can do with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a tempo style deck, and it has a lot of armor generation, just kind of sustain for your hero, but it very, very much can go aggressive, and does go aggressive. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen a deck that can't go aggressive that gets Arhat seal of approval. He loves to go face. But this one just has a lot of, there's so many neat tricks you could do. You can do the Risky Skipper into Leroy Jenkins into Bloodsworn Mercenary. And what that does is that clears off the 1/1s, and then you can make 2 Leroys and go face with it. It's just a lot of really cool tricks with this deck. I for one am excited to watch you play this one. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know any. I've been playing it a good bit this week since Arhat posted it. I know another good friend of our show, Wicked Good, has been playing this deck quite a bit. He posted about it on Twitter, said he'd had really good success with it. So yeah, we're gonna check this deck out tonight and get a few games in with it. But so you got any last minute things you want to say before we head out, Zerotio?
Just to answer Michael's question from earlier, I have about 4,300 gold, so I'm sitting in a really good spot going into April, which is not that far on. We don't have much further till we get to April. Like I said, this year's flying by. Normally, it's very boring in Hearthstone, and it just hasn't been with Battlegrounds and the solo content. I'm having more fun in Hearthstone in February than I ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I believe that if you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via the audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon over at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
All right. So, we're going to just jump right into some games. So like I said, I have been playing this deck, among others. I played the Dragon Hunter deck that we played last week quite a bit this week. And that Quest Druid that you guys saw in my deck list is probably what we're going to be checking out next week. So make sure you tune in next Sunday night at 6:30 Eastern to get a good look at that deck.
I'm excited for that too. I've been playing a bit of Quest Druid myself, trying out different decks for competitive play.
All right, so we are playing against a Paladin. And we've got Bomb Wrangler, Scion of Ruin, Devoted Maniac, and Awaken. So we're on the coin. So I'm actually thinking throw back the Scion. And
That's it?
And yeah, just that. What do you think?
I don't hate that. I want to keep the Bomb Wrangler, obviously, but we could coin Bomb Wrangler into Awaken into Devoted Maniac. I mean, that's a good curve.
I want to keep the Awaken in case he's cheating out dudes.
Yeah, I suspect there will probably get some kind of like mech paladin here.
Yeah, more than likely.
Our opponent's name is DW the Turtle. I really want that to be Deathwing. Deathwing the Turtle.
All right, so we drew into Frothing Berserker, and with our first card, we drew into Ritual Chopper. So I think we're just going to pass.
Yeah, that might change our play here. Depending what he plays. Oh, wow. Okay.
Fire Tree Witch Doctor.
Dragon Paladin?
Okay. I like it.
Okay.
So, do we stay and coin into Bomb Wrangler here?
I don't know if we coin into Bomb Wrangler or do we coin into Frothing Berserker, but now that I know it's Dragon, it's probably safer to go with Bomb Wrangler.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a Frothing Berserker seemed really good if he was playing mechs.
Right.
But he's not, which I'm confused by.
All right. He's got Brightwing.
So we can play Turnium Rover and then Ritual Chopper. The question is do we bump the 2/2 first with the Wrangler so the Ritual Chopper kills off the bomb and possibly kills the Brightwing instead of using our face? You see what I'm saying?
So we'll Bomb Wrangler into the 2/2, which will create a token.
Uh-huh.
Then we'll play Eternium Rover and Ritual Chopper, and then attack Brightwing.
If Brightwing doesn't get killed by the bomb that gets killed.
How's the bomb going to get killed?
Because of the Ritual Chopper.
The Ritual
It does
Chopper...
1 damage. It invokes.
Yeah,
oh, no, that's right.
It gives us +3 attack.
Yeah, that's right. I'm getting mixed up. Yeah. I'm thinking of the Awaken.
Yeah,
yeah. Let's still do that though.
Do that and attack.
Yep. I'm thinking of the Awaken at the same time.
Right.
Obviously, we don't have the mana for that.
Right.
I still like this line because whatever he's probably going to play the dragon that makes more drag.
Sir Finley.
Okay. Highlander dragon.
And he got Dire Shapeshift as his new hero power. Okay. So, what do you think about dropping the Berserker and running in the bombs?
What about this? Go face with everything. Then we Risky Skipper, Frothing Berserker.
Okay.
Berserker's huge. Yes, got one.
All right.
4/4. That was maximum value right there. 4 damage to face, 4 damage to the minion.
Yeah. And he'd seen enough at that point.
Wow. That was a good play.
Yeah.
And it landed perfectly, too. I mean, the RNG was on our side. Well, that was easy.
What's up, T-Bag?
Hey, Sergeant T-Bag. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you.
All right. So let's move on to game 2 here, because game 1 took all of 3 minutes.
Yeah, I was seeing Awaken. It was confusing the Awaken with the Chopper. You're right.
Oh. All right. What do we got here?
Too.
Huh?
Yeah, that was a fast one.
Yeah. Yeah. This deck can do that. And I guess it just
I think
depends
he
on.
just didn't have a way to deal with an 8-3.
Yeah. All right, so we got Town Crier, Awaken, Bomb Wrangler, and Leroy, and we are playing against a Druid. So this deck can struggle against Embiggen Druid if Embiggen gets going. So we want to try to do something pretty quick here. Thinking, again, we at least hold on to the Town Crier and the Bomb Wrangler.
I think that's all we hold on to. I mean, there is merit to keeping Awaken because we can coin up Bomb Wrangler on 2 and then have an Awaken play the next turn.
Yeah.
So maybe you just throw back Leroy.
Okay. Because
we're going to get some deck thinning and draw with Town Crier.
And we draw into Devoted Maniac. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 play currently.
Which lessens our Town Crier a little bit.
Yeah.
This could be Quest. No.
Tree Enforcements. Okay.
It's token.
It is token, yeah. So just throw out the Town Crier as a chump blocker?
I think so, yeah. Bomb Wrangler should get some good value. He'll probably play the guy that gives him a spell.
Well, by turn 5, we can have Scion of Ruin fully powered up.
Oh, yeah. Which is really good.
Rushing Winds to summon an eagle.
It kind of hurts our Bomb Wrangler a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still think it's the right play. I think we coin out Bomb Wrangler.
Okay. Go face with our 1-2?
Yeah, we just go face. Probably going to put the eagle into the 2-3, and then he'll want to deal with the bomb immediately. If he just goes face, then that's a mistake.
Yeah. Shrubadier.
Okay.
Okay, so he did trade. Good. So we'll run the 1-1 into the Shrubadier.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay.
What if we went
1-2 into the 2-2,
face.
bomb into the 2-2, and then Awaken?
What if we went face and just Awakened?
Well, you're still going to have 2 2-1s on the board.
Yeah, but the bomb might take one of them out, and our face can take out the other one.
Okay.
We're going to have the Scion of Ruin to deal with a lot. There you go. Now our face takes out the other one.
Okay. All right. Next turn, we'll Devoted Maniac.
Or Ritual Chopper Hero Power. Either way works.
Yeah, either way gets us to a turn 5.
Depending what he plays.
Yeah.
If he plays a big spell into the 3/5 taunt, then we'll probably want to use the Ritual Chopper to deal with that. With the 1/1.
Evie is thinking about it.
Could be evolving into a Vaporeon. Or that'd be a Leafeon. That's
yeah.
Leafeon.
Rising Winds into a 3/2. Nope, draw card.
Oh, Rising went to the draw, so they are missing stuff. That means their hand is probably heavy. A lot of heavy. Maybe they got the 8 mana spell.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
Does this change our play into Devoted Maniac swing face?
Yeah, I think we got a Devoted Maniac swing. I hate that we don't have anything to run into with it. I'd rather not waste a Ritual Chopper. But this sets us up to a Scion and Ruin with a Town Crier. and Town Crier would draw us either another Scion of Ruin or Devoted Maniac.
Yes.
Notice there's no Ziliax in this deck,
Correct.
but there's enough armor generation that Ziliax isn't really needed. Plus, Ziliax can be an awkward pull off your Town Crier when you need a 4-mana rush minion. He seems to be in a tough spot.
Force of Nature. Okay.
Into Aeroponics.
Into a Nubasath Defender.
I had a feeling he had a Nubasath Defender.
Yeah. Okay, so
The Scion of Ruin.
we can clear everything but one Trent.
Yeah. But
That
is
doesn't
that
feel great.
It doesn't feel great. We're probably going to want a Kronks next turn to get our Galakrond.
Okay.
So
Should we let's Town Crier first and see what we draw.
yeah, because
I mean, it's not going to really change anything. We're still going to have to clear.
well, Devoted Maniac would be better than using Scion of Ruin.
So
But we didn't get it. So
yeah, we didn't get it. So we will Scion of Ruin. That we just draw, not let on that we have another one. And then we're going to clear.
Yeah.
And then clear.
Yeah, this doesn't feel great, but it it makes it so we can't buff too many trees.
Right.
We want to Kronks next turn, but we might not have the agency to do so.
Sergeant Teabag says, sorry I came in late, guys. Was there any new information stemming from the summit in terms of 2020 updates? No.
No.
There hasn't been any yet. Everybody that attended is still under an NDA for the time being, and we did kind of speculate a little bit on what we thought we might get to see. We're kind of in the camp of we hope there's maybe some shakeups to the standard set, but as of right now, we don't have any information there, and we'll have to wait and see.
Can we take 8 damage?
Well, we're at 22, so that would put us down to 15.
Because we could Ritual Chopper Scion of Ruin
13, no, 12.
and
14,
keep one of the Scions of Ruin up.
Okay. So
we Ritual Chopper into the 8/7, put one Scion into it, one into 2/2, and leaving one 3/2 up.
okay.
We're taking 8 damage though,
Right.
but we need to keep something on the board. It feels bad, but I think it's the right play.
Okay. Next turn, depending on what he does, Kronks.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, if he has another Mulcher, we'll probably DOA.
I agree. Goru the Mott Tree.
That's not horrible.
I think we Kronks into Eternium Rover.
I think you're right. I mean, we're going to be one invoke off of a full Galakrond, but we might just have to do it. And I think we don't swing in at all.
I agree. I think we just pass here.
The Eternity Rover is kind of weird without the Ziliax, but I still think it's good. So this is probably the 8-mana get a bunch of tree. Oh no,
Another Force of Nature, which they're all 3/3s.
Yeah.
Now they're all 4/4s.
So it was a Blessing of Ancient, so we'll know he'll have another Blessing of Ancient.
So what? We don't have a whole lot we can do here, but what about Risky Skipper into Acolyte of Pain? So that's 4. That'll leave us with 3 mana. and it'll just about, we can clear the Goru with the Scion of Ruin.
Let's start with that. Let's see what we draw first. I'd draw another Attorney Rover. Or another Risky Skipper.
Armor Smith.
That's not bad, but
that's actually a good draw. That allows us to build up a bunch of armor.
We want to run in the Scion first then.
Yeah.
Play the Armor Smith. We'll get another card. Hopefully another minion. Okay. Not one we can play.
No.
And we just use our face and the Attorney Rover to clear one and armor up.
I like that.
We're netting pretty much the same. We're taking 4 and we're getting 4. Because we armored up and we hit. Oh no, we actually got 5, so we're up 1. So I forgot about Armor Smith. That was as good of a play as I think we could have mustered.
I agree. Couple more Trents.
He has to clear minions, right?
I think so.
Maybe.
No, maybe now he doesn't.
Because there'll be 3/3s when they pop out. Yeah, I think he feels like he has to clear these. Order is important.
Yeah.
So he's not generating us too much armor.
Do we have a play other than Shield of Galakrond into Bomb
Wrangler? I think that's probably our best play. Yeah. We're really behind in this matchup.
We are. And now swing in and clear one of the 3/3s?
Yeah, I mean it doesn't change the board state, but at least it gets rid of a 3/3.
Well, I mean, it gets rid of the death rattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be another 3/3, but it won't come back on a death rattle.
Right.
So Savage Roar beats us, right?
Yes.
4, 10.
See.
No,
6,
no,
12.
it doesn't.
Okay, yeah, not quite.
Double Savage Roar does. Savage Roar, the other side of Blessing of Ancients, I think, does. He doesn't have Savage Roar. He can't have Savage Roar. Oh, maybe he does.
And then the other half of Blessing of the Ancients.
I think that's lethal, right?
14 and 6 is 20. So I think he's one off. Oh, no.
Yeah, he is.
No, tackle
No,
face.
he had one more, yeah. Yeah, I think him playing that landscaping was just BM, was just him showing us.
Yeah, that he
had other things.
Yeah. All right, so we're 1-1.
Okay, and that is arguably a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Anything that's their whole goal is aggro is tough for this deck, except for the exception of maybe Mech Paladin. Mech Paladin, I think.
Yeah.
Has a little trouble with this deck if it draws well.
This matchup versus Hunter can go either way. It beats Quest Hunter pretty well, but it loses to Dragon Hunter occasionally. So we'll have to see.
What do you think of keeping? What do you think of keeping the Frothing Berserker?
I like that. Throw back the Bloodsworn Mercenary.
Yeah. I think throwing back the Bloodsworn Mercenary is probably smart. Because on 3, he's not really going to have anything with 4 attack. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. So we're going to Town Crier, draw into Scion of Ruin, and we drew the other Frothing Berserker.
This could be Quest. He didn't mulligan a single card.
Yeah.
Quest.
Yeah, he's coining, so probably
Quest?
not. Nope, Phase
Phase
Stalker. All right.
This is fine.
So just toss out the Armor Smith and go face?
I think so, yeah. And honestly, if he gets Snake Trap out of this, that might work against him.
Okay.
So what I would do is I'd play the Frothing Berserker. I would run the Town Crier into the Phase Stalker. See if it's freezing. It is freezing. Okay. So now we just... maybe you hit the Phase Stalker with the Armor Smith so he can't make a trade into the Frothing.
Okay.
And have the Phase Stalker survive, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
So if he has the Spring Paw, he'll have to run both Spring Paws and the Phase Stalker into it.
Yeah, or if he has the one mana 1/3 that lets his hero power target a minion, that would be his best option.
That would be his best option, and then it would likely get Snake Trap. I think that would have been a turn 1 play.
Animal Companion, Leok. Okay.
And he goes face.
So
okay.
I think now we run the Berserker into the Leok and we Maniac into the Phase Stalker.
No. We Maniac into the Phase Stalker and we run Berserker. We run our face and the Armor Smith into Leok and get a ton of damage to face.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
This is so much damage to face. And he still hasn't damaged the Frothing Berserker. Wow. And so we have a Shield of Galakrond into smacking whatever he puts out.
Yeah.
Yes. That's perfect for us.
So,
ooh.
Shield of Galakrond.
Smack the 3/3. And then do we just go ahead and enter Rage this Frothing? It'll make it 13-3.
Yeah, but it also doesn't matter, as I was going to say.
There you go. So the name of the game is getting a Frothing Berserker out on turn 3 or 4 that they can't deal with, and they just quit.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, there you go. 2-1 out of a best of 3.
Yep.
So that deck is it's really fun, especially when it works. It just goes off and it has a lot of options available to it. So
yeah,
I like it.
Definitely.
It's a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun with it. So again, thank you, Ridiculous Hat, for bringing it to our attention on Twitter, and Zach ODS for creating it, I guess. So, all right. I think that's gonna pretty much do it for us this week. If you guys have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit the subscribe button below on YouTube if you have not done so already, or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. If you are interested in checking out our patron-only Discord server, we are talking Hearthstone all the time. We share the deck lists there as well as on our website, but they usually go in the Discord first. So, feel free to head over to patreon.com/heropower. And until next week, guys, good gaming.
Bye, guys. Have fun.